Hello, friends, and welcome back to my channel here at True Reality Life, where we talk about the true realities of the life around us, beautiful, ugly, and everything in between. So, today it's kind of a heavy topic. I had some things I wanted to talk about this week from therapy last week and from other things going on in my life, but unfortunately, my husband's grandfather passed away this week, and it just brought up a sense of need to get on here and talk about the grieving process and just how to cope with the grieving process and just death and the grief that comes along with that, whether it was expected or unexpected, and just kind of talk about how we can experience the grief without allowing it to consume us. So it is a very heavy topic. And if you're here today watching this video, you must also be experiencing some form of loss in your life. So I'm so very sorry for that. Please take watching this video at whatever pace you need to go at. If you need to pause and take a minute, anything like that, or just watch it through and then process, please do that. If you need to watch it with somebody, do that as well, because grief is a lot, death is a lot to cope with, and the fact that you are here is huge. So thank you for being here. But just please be mindful of the way that you're feeling. However you're feeling is valid. You are human. You're allowed to feel all of the things. And I'm so sorry you're having to experience death in your life and grief in your life. Nobody should have to, but it is 100% guaranteed that we all die at some point in our lifetime. So unfortunately, we have to experience the grief that comes along with that as well. So let's jump right into this. I did take a few notes just because it can be a lot to process, even for myself. So I know I wanted to make kind of two parts to this video. This first one just being about how to cope with the immediate grief from death and the loss of somebody close to you, whether that's family, friend, any loved one in your life, expected, unexpected, things like that. And then the next video we'll talk about kind of the process before that happens, especially for our expected losses that are still just as hard to cope with, to grieve. But there's a lot that comes along with the process before they even pass. So this is part one. Stay tuned for part two. So I just want to start off with acknowledging your loss and my loss. And it's hard for me to say my loss as well because I very much am focused on my husband because it was his grandfather that passed away at such an unfortunate time of year. But we're grateful we got to say our goodbyes. And yes, I am sad about it and I am processing it as well. But I want to be there for my husband because he was very close with his grandfather and his grieving looks a lot different than other people's. And I know he's having a really hard time with that as well. So I just wanted to start off there and just acknowledging him and his loss and any loss that you're experiencing right now, and just kind of sit there in that feeling of acknowledging that you did lose somebody, and whatever feelings that are coming up for you around that loss, it's okay to feel those feelings. I know our body's first response is to kind of shut it off, shut it out, but it's okay to be present here right now. I'm here with you, even if it's through a screen. I'm here for you. You are not alone. If you need to message me, I know there's lots of resources, but if you need to message me or anything, I'm here for you. But just allow yourself to sit in the feelings sometimes. This is definitely a part of the human experience, and feelings come along with the human experience, whether they're good, bad, or anything. So even the sadness or emptiness or anger you're feeling is all valid. There are some other feelings we'll talk about too that you might be experiencing, but I know the first one people often might feel is that deep sadness or just loss, the emptiness, the hole where that person used to be, the sadness that revolves around the memories whenever you think about them and not having that anymore, not being able to create any more memories. That's a lot. It is a lot. And it's okay to feel it. It is part of the human experience, and you are human, I hope, watching this right now. So it's okay. Just let yourself feel it. Recognize what you're feeling. There's no right or wrong feeling you should be feeling right now. Whatever feeling is coming up for you is right for you. Don't let anybody tell you any differently. Some feelings, some feelings that might come up, I know, are the sadness, sometimes anger. Not necessarily angry at the person. Sometimes we do let the anger out thinking that why did that person have to leave, but we're more angry at the situation of them no longer being here. Or if it's somebody that, oh, they should have taken care of themselves better, they should have been seen better, something like that. But if it's anger, that's okay too. I know some of us feel disconnected, that it's easy to just, you get all overwhelmed by all the feelings, and so you just disconnect. You shut off. But that's not abnormal. It's your body's way of trying to protect you from something that it doesn't know how to cope with. Your body knows how to fight and run and all of those things, but this sadness that you feel, it's trying to make sense of it. And then you're getting an overwhelm of feelings that don't feel safe. So your body's seeking out safety. So it's going to shut down, make you feel disconnected to those feelings so that you don't completely overwhelm yourself with the feelings. But step one of not being overwhelmed and allowing those feelings to consume you is to just acknowledge those feelings, acknowledge their existence. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling empty. And I hate to say it sometimes we feel relief. And this component partially comes into what I'll get into in our next video for caretakers, whether that's loved ones or like spouses or family or anything that's been taking care of somebody in their last days, their last weeks, their last months, and they're putting their all into caring for this person. Sometimes you feel relief that they're at peace now, that it's not something you're constantly having to worry about anymore. And even if you're not the caretaker, but even as a family member that's been going and saying their goodbyes or wondering when it's going to happen, when that phone call is going to come, that you know it's imminent, you know this loved one isn't going to make it much longer, but you keep waiting for that phone call, and it's almost giving you a sense of anxiety of when is this going to happen. And so now that it has, it's almost a sense of relief. But oftentimes what comes with that sense of relief is a sense of guilt too, because to admit that you feel relieved sounds morbid, but if that is something that's coming up for you, that's okay. You don't have to feel guilty about it. You having a sense of relief about their death does not mean you're happy about their death, does not mean that you were hoping for their death, that you're not sad about it. You don't have to feel guilty. It is valid to feel relief in certain situations. So don't feel bad, don't feel guilty, don't beat yourself up for having the wrong feelings because there is no wrong feelings about this. Whatever you're experiencing is your feelings and yours alone. Don't allow other people to judge you. Try not to judge other people in this time. Everybody grieves differently, and everybody's version of grief is valid. Another feeling that comes up a lot of times in this grieving process is the pressure to be strong for other people, especially if it was your spouse that passed away or a child or somebody that's very, very close with you that you saw all the time. And you feel the pressure to be strong for everybody else, to put on a good face, to put on a smile. You don't have to. You can rely on people, you can lean on people, and that's okay. But even if you do feel that pressure to feel strong for other people, that's not wrong either. You do whatever works for you, but please try not to make this a stressful experience more than it needs to be. Just allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling. And don't judge yourself. Offer a little bit of self compassion towards yourself and the feelings that are coming up for you. And just remember this is a process. This is a experience and it's only temporary. You will come out on the other side. So also remember you can be present in these feelings right now. It's only temporary. So whatever else that you're worried about can be dealt with tomorrow or the next day or next week or anything. Stop stressing about anything else, but just be present in your feelings right now. Because the more you try to suppress them, is the harder it's going to be for you to process them. So I just ask you to just sit in your feelings and be accepting without judgment of those feelings that are coming up, whether it's shame, guilt, sadness, anger, whatever may be coming up for you. Acknowledge them and just be present with them. You don't need to do anything to try to repress them. I know usually mental health advocacy is, hey, here's a better way to do it. Think more positive. Da, 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 just be positive. They're in a better place now. And sure, if that works for you, but if that doesn't, just being in your feelings is okay too. Just allowing yourself to feel is the first step. You don't need to try to be Miss Positive, Mr. Positive about this grieving process. I didn't come on here to try to offer just positivity. Hold on. So there is no right or wrong way to grieve. There's no right or wrong feelings to experience. You don't have to force yourself to see the positive side of this. You can just experience the feelings that are coming up for you right now. And I do want to bring up, in a faith aspect and your relationship with God, if you have one, there's often two common results of a death in the family or a close friend or loved one, that it either draws people closer to God because they're seeking comfort in God and knowing that their loved one is now in heaven with Him, or it brings up anger towards God. And this one is often for people who the death was very sudden and unexpected, that they might be questioning their faith of, why would God do this to me? This is unfair. What was the reason? And just trying to make sense of it. Of, if there is a God, then why would He do this? And I definitely see that aspect of it, especially if it's young children or a very unexpected or traumatic death. And I'm so sorry if that's you experiencing this right now. But I do want to come on here and say that either feeling towards faith, towards God, is not wrong. I'm not on here to say, oh, you should think this way versus the other. however you are feeling is valid and it is okay. And questioning your faith does not make you a bad person. It does not make you a bad Christian. You are just experiencing something that is very hard for the human brain and the human body to cope with and to deal with. And that is okay. It is still possible to have hope and stay hopeful during the heartbreak that you are experiencing. There will be a time after this period of your life. You will get through it. You have already gotten through 100% of the hard experiences in your life. 100% of them, or else you would not be here today. You are so much stronger than you think. And even in this moment of weakness, that is okay. You do not have to be perfect. Any form of grief that you are experiencing is what you are supposed to be doing right now. So please don't beat yourself up that, oh, well, I'm not crying and I'm mad that I'm not crying, or oh, I'm crying too much and that's overwhelming, or whatever it may be. Just acknowledge your feelings and allow yourself to feel them. Now, I'm just going to very briefly mention some things that might be helpful for you during this time. And it doesn't have to be trying to stay positive or put a smile on your face or anything, but say you're sitting in your feelings and you're like, well, what's next? What can I do next? I would just say, in addition to being present, one way to just stay grounded and not allow the grief to completely consume your life, because as people, we do still have to move on and we still have to go to work and make money and pay the bills. Life doesn't just stop because we're in a hard point of our life right now. We might be able to take a couple days or even a couple weeks, but it won't stop indefinitely. So, something you can do is just stay grounded in those small habits. Whether that's journaling, right? Say you accept the feelings that you're feeling, but you're like, now what? They just keep circling in my head. You can write them down in a journal or release them to a trusted person. If you feel like you don't have anybody, you can always reach out to me and literally just let out every feeling or thought that's coming to mind, whether it sounds horrible or not, because I know some feelings that people experience, they don't want to admit them. They feel like it's not the right feeling to be feeling or thought to be thinking. So just write it down. Or if you do trust somebody enough to let them know, then that's awesome. But at least write it down to get it out of your head. But then I will say, even just sticking to your daily habits of, making sure that you eat or brush your teeth or shower, those little things, appreciate the little wins, especially if you're in a deep bout of grief that feels very overwhelming. Then just make sure to acknowledge and appreciate those little things that you are doing. So, all of that being said, if you are here today because you are experiencing grief, thank you for being here. So, all of that being said, if you are here today because you are grieving the death of somebody close to you, I'm so sorry for your loss, but it is okay to grieve. You do not have to be strong right now. You can let all of the emotions come up and feel them and just be present. That is all that I ask of you, is to be present in your emotions today. There's no right or wrong. Whatever you are experiencing is valid. And be sure to reach out if you feel like you don't have anybody to talk to, if you don't feel comfortable surrounding yourself with family right now. please reach out. I am here if you need somebody to talk to, or I can at least provide resources for you. Thank you so much for being here. See you next time. Love you guys. Bye.